Now we're going to talk about reinforcement schedules. I've already discussed continuous reinforcement. Basically, that means we're going to reward our dog every single time it does or performs the behavior we're asking it to do. This is how we promote learning in our dog. It's the quickest way for a dog to learn exactly what we want. The problem with continuous reinforcement schedule is that if you stick with it for a year and then you cut it off and start to not reward them every time, the behavior goes away. It becomes extinct. It's extinction. And that happens when people don't fade continuous reinforcement to variable or random reinforcement soon enough. Well, first of all, let me explain what variable is. Continuous reinforcement means we reward every time the dog does a behavior. When we're going to go to variable, we'll do reward, and then we'll ask for the behavior again that we don't reward it on, and then we'll ask for them, and then we'll do a reward. So we can do reward, skip a reward, reward, skip a reward, reward, skip a reward. Then when the dog is comfortable with that, then we can go to, say, 2 reps or 4 reps in between the rewards. We kind of have to manage the dog when we move to variable reinforcement. What happens is, I think, in the mentality of the dog, when it's learning, it says, okay, every time he asks me to sit, you notice I use sit a lot. Every time he asks me to sit, I get my high value food reward. I really like this. And then we've gone along and now we're going to go to variable. So we ask him to sit and we don't give him a reward. And he thinks, wait a minute, I should have got a reward last time. Why didn't I get a reward? Maybe it was because I didn't sit correctly, and the next time you try it, he's going to try harder. That's the mentality that we want to develop in the dog when we go to variable rewards. We want to build drive for the behavior. If we continually reward too long, and then we stop, they think, I don't want to do this. I'm not getting a reward. I don't want to do it anymore. It's not fun. They took the fun out of it. So you got to kind of be careful there. And nobody can tell you an exact formula for putting your dog on a variable reward. Nobody can tell you for sure, unless they're watching you train your dog, when you should move from continuous to variable. It depends on the dog, it depends on the motivation for the dog, it depends on the environment that you're training in, drive the dog has. There's a lot of variables there, and this is where learning to become a dog trainer really starts to come into play. Now, we have continuous, we have variable, and we also have random. Some people will say variable and random are the same thing. I'm not saying they're wrong. I just look at it a little bit differently. Variable to me means we're going to reward the dog and then we're going to wait for a certain number of reps and then we're going to reward them again. Random means we're starting to fade out rewards for an extended period of time, but then going back and rewarding the dog. Variable, we're counting reps. When we get to random, we're counting maybe days, but we never stop rewarding the dog. My dogs. My little dogs, I bred German Shepherds, tough German Shepherds for 35 years. And look at me now. We have one German Shepherd, 3 years old, really tough. Cindy's dog. My dogs, I get her cast-offs, and I love them. I have the little Chihuahua, Pip, 18 months old now. I have Rosie, the Shih Tzu, that's 8 years old. And I have Stella, Border Terrier, that's 13 years old. Those are now my dogs. I love them. Even at this age, I really enjoy going out and playing with these little behavior things that I'm talking about because like yesterday, I take them out in the morning, I take them for their walks, I take them out in the evening, and we have a long driveway between our kennel and the house. It's a couple 100 yards. And Rosie and Stella, I got way ahead of them. And I turned around and I called them. And Stella's a Border Terrier, so she's coming like this. And halfway to me, I said, yes. And it was like she shifted into gear and went boom in. And it was like, that's really cool. It worked. And I gave her a little reward event. Not one, but a bunch of them. And occasionally I'll do that. And it just builds motivation, it builds the relationship with your dog, and it keeps the dog thinking and remembering what yes means, and it keeps them remembering that, hey, that's Ed. And look at Ed, he's got food rewards all the time. And I always have these food rewards in my pocket. I don't care what vest I have on, I don't care what jacket I have on, I've already got them. And like Pip, I'll take her out, she'll go down, and I have to, we're teaching her, she's really good at house training, but sometimes she'll be sniffing around too much. I say, hurry up, outside. We teach them to go poop and pee on command. And for me, this is what I do. Maybe some people say you're doing it wrong. Well, such is life. But every time Pip poops, I just give her a little food treat. And if I give her a food treat, and Rosie comes running up, Rosie doesn't get a food treat. She's got to go poop on her own, even though she has to run in circles about 50 times before she poops. So here we're talking about, I digress, but we're talking about reward schedules. And that's the thing to keep in your mind. You have to manage your dog's drive, and you have to manage how much your dog has learned. And you have to be able to switch reward schedules based on your dog and what you're seeing in the moment with your dog. So maybe you have to go back from a random into a variable, or maybe you even have to go from a variable all the way back to continuous rewards. I just want you to learn how to think about it so you can manage your reward schedules. Then you're going to become a good dog trainer.